Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra leak? 5,500 milliamp hour battery and 65-watt charging? Disagreements among leakers. The potential upgrade of the Galaxy S26 Ultra is stirring excitement. It could bring a 5,500 milliamp hour battery and 65-watt fast charging. But here's where it gets controversial. Samsung hasn't changed the battery size or charging speed of its flagship Galaxy S Ultra series since the Galaxy S20 Ultra back in 2020. So, is the S26 Ultra finally set to break this pattern? The Galaxy S20 Ultra was notable for its advanced features, including a substantial 5,000 milliamp hour battery and impressive 45-watt fast charging. These specifications remained the same throughout the series, right up to the Galaxy S25 Ultra. But is the S26 Ultra really introducing a notable enhancement? Reports earlier this week suggested that at last, we might see a substantial leap in charging speed. Adding to this excitement, leaker @ChunVN888 claims that the Galaxy S26 Ultra could come equipped with a 5,500 milliamp-hour battery and support for 65-watt fast charging. This would mean a 10% increase in battery capacity and a notable 45% boost in charging speed. Quite an upgrade indeed. Interestingly, @ChunVN888 also hints that these improvements might come without increasing the phone's thickness. However, the situation remains uncertain. Despite our source's strong reputation, another reliable leaker @UniverseIce contradicts this by stating that the Galaxy S26 Ultra will maintain a 5,000 milliamp-hour battery. These conflicting reports suggest that while some improvement is likely, Samsung might choose to stick with the current battery size for the sake of faster charging capabilities. What are your thoughts on this dilemma? Would you prefer a bigger battery? Or are you more focused on faster charging? Share your opinions and join the conversation below. Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra camera upgrade. Reduced shutter lag? Is Samsung finally about to fix one of its most frustrating camera flaws? Many Samsung fans have spent years complaining about shutter lag, the annoying delay between tapping the shutter and actually capturing a photo on the company's flagship Ultra phones. Now, whispers about the Galaxy S26 Ultra promise the most exciting camera upgrade yet. But before you start celebrating, there's a twist that's already causing a stir among tech insiders. Let's start with the basics. The Galaxy S25 Ultra is barely half a year old, but Galaxy S26 Ultra leaks are flying fast and furious. One particularly explosive rumor claimed the new model would feature a significantly larger 200-megapixel sensor made by Sony, sparking huge excitement about a possible leap in image quality. However, veteran Samsung leaker Ice Universe has just challenged this idea with a claim that could ruffle a few feathers. According to Ice Universe, the S26 Ultra will actually stick with the familiar ISOCELL HP2 200-megapixel sensor, the same one used in the S23 and S25 Ultra. This flies in the face of those earlier rumors, swapping hardware hype for something a little more nuanced, but potentially more meaningful. The hot new detail? Samsung is reportedly increasing the main camera's aperture, letting in more light and promising to solve several long-standing issues, especially in low-light situations. Wider apertures allow more light to reach the sensor, which not only helps you capture clearer and brighter nighttime shots, but also reduces the time the shutter needs to stay open. In theory, this means less shutter lag, crisper action shots, and fewer blurry moments, issues that have made many power users grumble. But here's where it gets controversial. Sticking with the same sensor while only widening the aperture is a less obvious upgrade. What does it really mean for real-life photography? For one, you'll likely see less digital noise and much more natural-looking portraits, since a wider aperture gives photographers that silky, shallow depth of field, without relying heavily on artificial bokeh added by software. If you've ever noticed your Samsung bokeh shots looking weird or unnatural, this change could be a game-changer. And yet, and this is the part most people miss, there's a potential downside that could spark some heated debate in photography circles. Using a very big sensor with an ultra-wide aperture can sometimes make close-up photos hard to nail. Fellow editor Rob Triggs noticed in his Xiaomi 15 Ultra review that pictures of nearby subjects could turn into an unfocused mess, thanks to the extremely thin focal plane. So thin, in fact, that not everything in your frame will be sharp unless you adjust your distance and alignment. Similar problems popped up in the Vivo X90 Pro, meaning users had to step farther back just to keep their portraits in focus. Could Samsung's new configuration fall into the same trap? Or will they engineer a clever fix that sidesteps these focus struggles? There's more afoot here than just tweaks to the main lens. Reports suggest the S26 Ultra's 50-megapixel 5x telephoto camera is also getting a wider aperture, which should improve zoom photography in low-light conditions, potentially making your distant night shots sparkle without grainy artifacts. All told, Samsung's next move could either delight longtime fans or leave them wishing for more dramatic change. Are marginal improvements to aperture enough to address big complaints? Or are users right to expect a new, bigger sensor altogether? Does a wider aperture make up for reusing the same sensor yet again? And if sharpness issues appear in close-ups, would you be willing to accept them in exchange for stunning low-light or portrait performance? Let's hear what you think. Do you agree with the rumored direction for the Galaxy S26 Ultra? Or are you holding out for more radical innovation? Do you believe improved aperture alone can finally vanquish shutter lag and blurry photos? Or are you skeptical? Drop your thoughts, hot takes, and camera wish lists in the comments below. This is one upgrade bound to divide the crowd. Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra. Bigger display and thinner bezels. Full specs and first look. Prepare to rethink your expectations for smartphone displays. Samsung is reportedly about to raise the bar again with the upcoming Galaxy S26 Ultra. The buzz around this device centers on its screen, which is rumored to get just a bit bigger than its predecessor, but promises to offer a dramatically sleeker look thanks to nearly invisible bezels. But here's where it gets controversial. Could thinner bezels make the phone harder to use? Or does it simply push design innovation further down the line? Let's break down what's currently circulating in the rumor mill. The Galaxy S25 Ultra features a large 6.86-inch display, already impressive by any standard. However, leaked information suggests the Galaxy S26 Ultra might sport a slightly bigger 6.89-inch screen. Although this increase seems minimal, merely 0.03 inches, the real eye-opener is the purported reduction in bezel size to an astonishingly thin 1.15 to 1.2 millimeters all around. To put it in perspective, these bezels would be some of the thinnest ever seen on a flagship smartphone, potentially maximizing screen space without increasing the phone's physical footprint. This calculation assumes that the overall size of the phone remains unchanged from the S25 Ultra, but it's important to note that this assumption comes from a well-known Chinese leaker, Ice Universe, who makes educated guesses based on industry trends and past patterns. So, while the exact measurements remain speculative, the idea of the screen growing slightly while the bezels shrink is certainly plausible and exciting for anyone hungry for cutting-edge smartphone design. On the camera front, the Galaxy S26 Ultra is rumored to make a significant leap forward. Sources claim it may include a groundbreaking 200MP sensor possibly sourced from Sony, which itself would mark a massive upgrade in resolution and image quality over previous models. Additionally, the device might include a 50MP telephoto lens capable of 5x optical zoom, features that would thrill photography enthusiasts keen on capturing detailed and versatile shots right from their phone. Battery life is another area of interest. While the S26 Ultra is predicted to retain the same 5,000 mAh battery capacity as the Galaxy S25 Ultra, it could achieve a thinner overall body, reflecting Samsung's ongoing efforts to deliver powerful hardware in sleek, user-friendly designs. The challenge here will be ensuring that the thinner chassis does not lead to overheating or battery longevity issues, which are legitimate concerns for some users and experts alike. As of now, these details remain rumors, albeit from relatively credible sources within the smartphone leak community. Until Samsung officially unveils the device, all interested parties should take this information with a grain of cautious optimism. Now, this is the part most people miss. With all these enhancements, inch-by-inch screen growth, ultra-thin bezels, and advanced camera tech, is it possible that Samsung might prioritize style over ergonomics or battery endurance? Could a thinner phone with more extreme specs actually compromise in areas that matter daily? For those considering upgrading or just fascinated by the rapid pace of mobile tech, these evolving specs paint a picture of relentless innovation with both exciting possibilities and challenging trade-off. Finally, here are some real-time offers for the current Galaxy S25 Ultra, showing how prices vary depending on storage and RAM configuration. For example, the 256GB model with 12GB RAM can be found for around $959 USD, or CAD $1,479.99. While the top-tier 512GB, 12GB RAM model goes for roughly $1,025 USD, or CAD $2,098.99. These prices come from affiliate links and may fluctuate, but they give a useful benchmark for anyone tracking the lineup. What do you think? Is Samsung's push for ever thinner bezels and bigger screens worth potential sacrifices in comfort your battery life? Or does innovation far outpace these concerns? Share your thoughts and join the debate.